Hi, everybody. Welcome to our college visit series. Thank you for joining us today. We are very excited to have with us Washington and Jefferson College and admissions representative Dylan Gerald here to talk to us about all of the amazing programs that they offer and tell us more about their wonderful college. So I'm going to go ahead and give this over to him to get started.
Thanks, April. Again, my name is Dylan Gerald, and I'm an admission counselor at W&J College. Just to briefly get started, we are in the Pittsburgh area, and I'll go over that a little bit more as well. Can you see my screen, April? You can. Okay, just making sure. So I'll start out with where we are. We are in the state of Pennsylvania, in Washington County, which is in Southwest Pennsylvania. And we're in the middle of the city of Washington. The main street of Washington is literally one block off of the front of our campus. So in our area, there's a lot of like local coffee shops and cafes and things like that to really like go out and just like spend some time at. But we are 30 minutes away from Pittsburgh, and it's a short drive up to the city. We do have a shuttle that will take students into the city for free every Saturday. So you can take advantage of all that Pittsburgh has to offer as well. We're pretty close for most of you. We're about 4 hours away. But in general, this is some general ideas of how far we are from other major cities. And then if you haven't been to Pittsburgh, this is kind of what you can expect. We're located on the merging of 3 different rivers, the Ohio, the Monongahela, and I forgot the other one. I'm terrible. But beautiful city overall. And these are just some of the things that make Pittsburgh such a great place to be. I do want to point out that it's #1 city for young people to live. There are a lot of colleges in the area and really a lot of good industry popping up lately. So there are 7 Fortune 500 companies and then a lot of startups as well. If you know niche.com, they're located in Pittsburgh, as well as Duolingo, just to name a couple. But generally, great city, really good food, and a really good arts and culture as well to take advantage of. Okay, so W&J was founded in 1781. I do want to point out the picture on the left, that is Macmillan Hall. And that was actually, it started out as a log cabin back whenever the college was founded. We started as 2 different schools, Washington College and Jefferson College, hence the name Washington and Jefferson College. And we merged in 1865 during the Civil War as a result of a lot of people going off to like getting drafted and things like that. Because we merged together, our motto is Juncta Juvent, meaning together we thrive. And we've really held true to that since then. Briefly, a little bit of info about academics. We do have about 1,200 students on our campus. We are very small and we really like it that way. So you'll see that about 75% of our classes have less than 20 students in them. And you really get to know your faculty with 10 students per faculty member on average. They all hold terminal degrees in their areas and they have experience outside of just teaching. So they do know the industries that they're working in inside and out. And this isn't related to academics whatsoever, but about 40% of our students will study abroad. And I will touch on that a little bit more later. This is just a list of all of our academic programs. At W&J, you don't have to decide your major until end of sophomore year. So you have plenty of time to kind of figure that out. But these are just the options, majors, minors, major and minor. And one good thing to note too is that a lot of our students will double major and still graduate on time. So some of the more popular combinations, I guess, are things like biology and Spanish. We have a lot of students that will do public policy or political science with like an environmental science for those who want to get into like environmental law or anything like that. We also have a lot of students that will do communication arts and computing and information studies. So those are just some of the possible combinations, but in general, about 40% of our students will have a double major. We're undergoing a strategic plan right now. So by 2022, every student will have 2 academic programs instead of, only having a major, only having a minor. You'll see a lot more of those double programs. We also have a couple of pre-professional programs. So 3-2 Engineering is a dual degree program. We have partnerships with a couple of different institutions, but most of our students will end up going to Washington University in St. Louis. They actually have a 3-3 program where you can get 3 degrees in 6 years, 2 undergrad degrees, and a master's in engineering. But we also partner with Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland, Ohio, Columbia University in Manhattan, and then more recently, the University of Pittsburgh. Teacher education certification, we have 100% pass rate on the praxis, and our teachers are certified pretty easily. And then pre-health and pre-law tend to be what we're most known for as an institution. We have, generally speaking, you'll see this later, but about 90% acceptance rates to all pre-health programs and into pre-law. So we do a really good job of getting students where they want to go. Pre-health includes really everything. So pre-med, vet, dental, pharmacy, PT, OT, physician assistant. The only thing we don't have is nursing. So it does cover a lot. And then ROTC, we have Army, Air Force, and National Guard. This isn't exactly related to academics, but it is an additional experience that you can have that is somewhat related to academics. Magellan Project is a pretty unique experience to WNJ. And the whole idea of the Magellan is to allow students to really pursue that passion project that they've always wanted to do. So Magellan will provide funds for students to study whatever they want to, wherever they want to in the world. These are a couple of examples on the screen, but I do want to point out Clara, who's the girl on the right. She is a Spanish major, and she's going to graduate in 2022. She might graduate early though. But her Magellan was on the culture of immigration in Spain and Morocco. So she went to Tangier and then worked her way up to Barcelona and then back. While she was traveling and crossing the border both ways, she met with a lot of immigrants, refugees. She met with some like government officials, toured museums, looked through city streets just for propaganda about the way that immigrants are treated in those countries. And whenever she came back, she did a presentation to some of the campus community and kind of related it to US-Mexico immigration. So it was really rewarding for her and just for me, honestly, to be able to hear about it. But she wouldn't have had that opportunity if she hadn't done the Magellan Project. There is a formal application and you are pitching a proposal, but it's reviewed by our faculty, and the projects normally last 3 to 8 weeks over the summer, and funding for those are generally $1,000 to $3,000. It all depends on where you're going, how long you need to stay there, and how much funding you'll need to stay there for that long. So really cool opportunity. I could talk about it for days, but I'll spare you that. So another way to kind of go abroad is through our traditional semester or year-long abroad. And we also have J-term. So with study abroad, we are in at least 20 countries and have at least 35 partnerships. those kind of change a little bit. I think last time I checked, we're up to 40. But in addition to that, you can also do J-term, which is a 2-week intersession in January, and then we also have a May term. Some of the classes that will go on J-term or May term are a theater tour of London, which will literally go to London and watch 13 shows. And then they'll do some reflection papers, and that's the class. Another one that I like to point out is Dr. Kilgore's on the top right of the screen. They went to Arizona to study kind of the impacts of the U.S.-Mexico border in Arizona on a ecological level, but also on a human level. So they did some land surveying, and then they also met with some government officials as well, local government, state government, and like Border Patrol, ICE, etc. A good size of a J-term class will be the bottom one on the left. About 15 or so students is pretty average. But you do get credit for those courses. And yeah, about 40% of our students will do some kind of abroad trip. You can do a Magellan Project 3 times. You can do up to 2 full semesters in a traditional study, or 2 full years in a traditional study abroad. And you can do a J-term 4 times, 6 times. So there's a lot of ways to get some time abroad if you want to. Although we do like our students to go abroad and have these experiences, we do want to make sure that you're having fun when you're on campus too, and really engaging with our community. So we have about 70 different clubs, plus some performance groups. The performance groups are 3 kind of instrumental groups and 3 choral groups. We have the jazz ensemble, the marimba ensemble, and a concert orchestra. There's the Camerata Singers, which is our audition choir. We have an a cappella group and then a concert choir as well. There's also a theater and an art gallery on our campus. The theater will do 2 main stage shows every year, and then we'll have a couple of student-run productions throughout each semester as well. So a lot of different ways to get involved. Some of the clubs, those really range depending on student interest, but for right now, we have a really thriving Black Student Union and Gender and Sexuality Association. A lot of clubs that are just things to do, like the ski club, equestrian club, the coloring club, the Knitwits. Really, if you can think of it, we probably have it. But if there is something that you're interested in doing or that you've done in high school that you want to continue to do in college, all it really takes is an idea and a couple of friends. So very easy to start a club. That's actually how the coloring club started. It was a group of girls who lived in the same suite together. They would come together every week and just start coloring, and then student life got wind of it and then kind of opened that up to the greater campus community. So that started 2 years ago, and now it's gaining a lot more popularity too. We do have athletics. We're a Division III institution, NCAA, and we have 26 different teams. We have most of your typical sports, obviously football. We also have basketball, soccer, softball, baseball, etc. Some of the less common ones that we have are swimming and diving, and then we also have water polo too. We're one of only a couple of hundred of schools that have water polo. Generally speaking, we're at the top of our conference for every sport that we do, or almost every one of them. Really, really good winning history at W&J. I also want to talk a little bit about the support that you'll receive on campus as part of your student life. I specifically want to talk about Navigate, which is our first year experience. So whenever you come to W&J, you'll come undecided, as I mentioned earlier, but you'll still have an academic advisor, And that advisor will be the professor for your first year seminar course. That course will be a specific topic that is chosen by the faculty, but you'll get a chance to choose what your top ranked topics are. Your advisor is going to help make sure that you're going to graduate on time and make sure that you're taking courses that count toward our graduation requirements. They'll also help you schedule your courses until the point at which you declare a major. Attached to that first year seminar course is going to be a link mentor who's going to be a peer there for you to help show you the ropes during your whole first year. They've been in college already and you haven't. So they're there to answer any questions that you have or just be a friend to help show you where the library is, where are your classes, and then kind of help you adjust to being a college student. The last kind of component to the support group that you'll have is a student success consultant. They'll act somewhat as a college and career center, but at the college level. So they'll help you write a resume freshman year and then start thinking of things that you can add to that. Like if you want to, get involved in Greek life, or if you want to join a sport, any clubs, if you want to do an internship or have some research, go abroad, do a Magellan Project, all of that stuff is there. So they're there to help you kind of get connected with all of those different resources across campus and start thinking of ways to add stuff to your resume. Really great team, Rachel and Yefeyu, love them, love everything about them. I won't read all of these to you, but generally speaking at WNJ, we do pretty much everything within reason that we can to make sure that our students end up where they want to go. We do that through, having those experiences and being able to fund students to go abroad, to have those internships, to get research time. And then in addition to that, there's the faculty and the staff here to support as well. So again, we do a good job of getting students where they want to go. And I think our outcomes speak volumes to that. But again, 90% acceptance to pre-health and pre-law programs. And from 2019's graduating class, 97% of our students were employed within six months. Okay, now the fun part. So anyone who's interested in WNJ, I highly recommend submitting an application. We are a Common App school, but we also have our own in-house WNJ leadership application. You do not have to submit both of those. You can choose which one you want to do, and both of them are free. There's literally no harm in submitting an application. We are doing a lot as an admission office to make things simple for students. So the application itself is pretty, the application is pretty simple. But in addition to that, anything that a student wants to submit outside of their transcripts are completely optional. So things like SAT and ACT scores, recommendation letters, personal statements. If you have those things, great. Feel free to include those on your application, but just know that if you don't have any of those and you don't want to submit them at the point of application, we're not going to hold a decision or deny you just because you chose not to submit those. One thing that we do look at pretty closely is, well, a couple of things are the transcript, obviously, the activities that you put on your application, those will come important, especially for scholarship purposes. But we also look at demonstrated interest. So if you visited us at all in the past, or if you're answering our phone calls or our text messages, all of that stuff does matter. So whenever we come to read your application, we'll pay attention to those things specifically. We are open for visits until the Thanksgiving holiday, and then we'll reopen again in January. If you'd like to schedule a visit, go to washjeff.edu, click on the Future Students tab, and then click Visit Us. Once we have all of your application materials that you're choosing to submit, will make a decision pretty quickly. We don't hold decisions until January or February. We really get them out as soon as we have a decision. So you'll know within about 2 weeks. 3 weeks is really our max. Some students will know in 5 days. Some will know in 3 weeks. We do have deadlines for our application. So if you're applying early decision, you'll need to do that before December 15th. And we do stick to all these deadlines, but for those who, might be a little bit later, we do have rolling admission until August 1. A week after your admission decision is released, you'll have a scholarship. This is our scholarship matrix, so just so you know exactly what to expect, this is what our scholarship tiers are. I do want to point out the WNJ Thrive. We have a lot of students that will get this scholarship, and there's no additional application required for them. The Thrive requires a demonstrated leadership on the application. So when you're filling out your activity list, if you're a team captain or involved like on a leadership team in a school organization, if you're teaching, coaching, mentoring, tutoring anyone, all of those things matter. So if you have any of that and a 3.6 unweighted GPA, you'll receive our highest merit scholarship. If you don't have a leadership, then you'll get one of the Presidential Scholars or Dean's Awards. So I just want to reemphasize that it's crucial to put the things that you're spending your time on in your application. And then financial aid is kind of the last step, I guess. I encourage everyone to file the FAFSA. Seriously, everyone file the FAFSA. Just in general, WNJ does a really good job of making sure that college is affordable for families. And our average institutional aid amount is $30,000, but it may be more and it may be less, just depending on who you are. But 99% of our students receive some kind of financial aid. Every admitted student is going to receive a scholarship, but then we offer a lot more in terms of institutional grants as well. So for visiting us, you'll receive a $1,000 visit grant. And then for our out-of-state students, you will be eligible for at least $2,000 in WNJ College grant money for the for those who apply in fall of 2021. But there may be more, honestly. Our financial aid office will find all of those additional institutional grants for you, so you don't have to do anything other than filing the FAFSA. We generally send out financial aid offers 2 weeks after a scholarship is offered. So for a student who submits their application, today's November 16th, a student who submits their application today and we have a transcript for them today, they'll have a decision, probably before Thanksgiving, a scholarship right after Thanksgiving, and before you go on Christmas break or the holiday break, you'll probably have your financial aid offer as well. So we do a pretty good job of getting things out quickly to people. But generally speaking, here's our kind of timetable. Priority financial aid deadline is in February. So yeah. And that is all I have. April, are there any questions or anything that you'd like more info about?
I have a question. Yeah, if a student wants to be considered for scholarships, for merit scholarships, do they need to have their application in by a certain date, or is it any of those deadlines that you said before?
Any of the deadlines, yeah.
Okay. There's not an early deadline or anything for that.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, and all of our students will be eligible for the same scholarships, regardless of what application type you choose. So an early decision and an early action applicant are eligible for the same scholarships.
Okay, great. Good to know. And do they have to turn in any test scores for any of the other merit scholarships?
No, I know that the test score amounts were listed on there.
Yeah.
If you don't have your test scores, we'll strictly look at the GPA for your
Good to know. Perfect. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been really good information. And I know this is really helpful for me as a school counselor, career counselor. So I know this is going to be really helpful for our students and families as they're watching this video. And if students have any other questions, can they reach out to you directly? Give them your email address?
Yes, ma'am. I'll put it in the video. My email is dgerald@wasjef.edu. That's the letter D, GERALD @wasjef.edu. And then I do have 2 phones. You can call or text my cell phone. That number is 724-531-2378.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate you sharing all of this with us.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me. This has been great.
Thank you. Have a good day.